Well, my friends, this is Russia's asymmetric response to NATO's buildup on its borders. According to Sputnik News, they're reporting that NATO is continuing its military buildup along Russia's borders. However, Russia is responding to every step the alliance takes by developing new defensive weapons at its borders. Now, we've been covering the Baltic situation there, the NATO buildup, the battalions. I think there's four or five battalions now in permanent rotation. I think 2 or 3 of them are American, one is British, and I believe the Germans are also sending troops to the border as well. Russia, not happy about it. They have declared an asymmetric response. One of those responses we just reported was, of course, the nuclear missile trains, which is believed to be one of those responses. Now, the article states here that amid NATO's increased military activities near the Russian borders, Moscow has now announced officially the creation of 2 new units in the Western Military District, as well as a 3rd division in the Southern Military District. Now, at the very same time, along with the Russian borders, with Finland, the Baltics, and Poland, Russia is also deploying what's called the SOVA anti-intrusion networks. Now, the SOVA SBRM, which stands for Combat Surveillance Vehicle. Now, this equipment allows the surveillance and monitoring of several moving targets as well as their trajectories. The SOVA SBRM is equipped with 50 to 80 magnetic, seismic, as well as acoustic sensors that can be integrated into a network in designated areas and all controlled remotely. Each sensor is designed to recognize listen to this, the frequencies of a number of sound vibrations, including those produced by helicopters, aircraft, as well as armored vehicles. This is some pretty serious hardware.
Right, all praise unto Yahweh Shem Al Shai, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Okay, what you have here before you is what this gentleman is calling the build-ups, the asymmetric response to NATO's build-up on its borders, because what you have within Eastern Europe, places like Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, and so on and so forth, as you just heard, is the build-up of NATO troops and the American troops, and all of them nations that have allegiance with them as pursuant to the scriptures. And basically what you're seeing is a response of that. Now, what comes to mind, and what probably doesn't come to mind to a lot of people, is the history that's associated with war. And I'm not talking about the recent wars, I'm not talking about Russia, I'm talking about ancient ways of war. Okay, before you siege a city, okay, or a land, okay, before a major war takes place, there's a few key events that happened in what we know as the ancient world. Okay, so you would have a ruler. Okay, let's use Alexander the so-called Great, for instance, and we use the adversaries as the I believe it was the Medo-Persians that Alexander took down, which was the major power before which he usurped, for lack of a better word. Okay, there would have been an event wherewith he would have taken his armies, okay, and all of the people that were joined with him, and placed them before the borders of the stronghold of the Medo-Persians. I'm just guessing the history there, but that's likely to have happened, because prior to all of that happening, those events that I have stated did happen. Okay, for instance, other examples come to mind is all the prior kingdoms to Alexandria and the Medo-Persians, the Babylonians, the Assyrians. They all had the same thing. And even when you're talking about us, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel, you had it to where when our cities, Jerusalem and Samaria, were being besieged, you would have had it to where another nation would have come up in that land. All right, before the war takes place, they would encompass the place. Okay, that's why you had certain recorders write it down that they had this, that, and the third. Okay, and then you had it to where this ruler prayed unto the Most High before he went to war with them. Okay, and that's what you're seeing out here. So that should paint a picture of what kind of times that we're living in right now. Okay, so you got it to where you got the United States and NATO, and they're on the borders of Russia. That's that's a scene from back in the day. But the only thing is now they got military vehicles and guns as opposed to swords, okay, and what you know as siege weapons, man. The modern day siege weapons now is the nuclear weapons and so on and so forth. All right, and as a response to all of that happening, you got it to where what the gentleman said. So as a result of this happening, I'm gonna read a little bit of this, and that's the result of it. As a consequence of this, U.S. missile defense system in Eastern Europe, how Russia will respond, says according to Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova. Right, Moscow has the right to appropriately respond to the U.S. missile defense system being deployed in Eastern Europe. What exactly does that mean? Okay, right. So it says in last week, commenting on Washington's deployment of the new Aegis Ashore missile defense system, right, based in Romania. So that's right at Russia's doorstep. Okay, it says Zakharova said that what we see from our Western partners cannot be called a betrayal, because a betrayal is only possible when one's close friends. And says there's referencing steps, the violations of agreement. Okay, it says considering how this situation is developing, we of course reserve the right to respond. It says earlier, Russian President Vladimir Putin said that the system being deployed in Romania was clearly not a defense complex, all right? Because this is supposed to be a defense. That's a actually that's in Russia, because I know that background. That's Russia. So they're showing you a picture of Russia. So it's lucky for that. But that so-called defense system that the Americans deployed there, okay, that so-called missile defense system, he's saying that's clearly not a defense complex. It says, but part of the U.S. strategic nuclear capabilities. Now, after the deployment of those anti-missile systems element, we will be forced to think about neutralizing, right, developing threats to Russia's security. President Putin said. Okay, so that's what's happening. All right, so you have siege. That's a siege weapon, man. Okay, the Americans put down a siege weapon, all right, as spoken about within the scriptures, because you had, I forget the exact words that they use. Battering rams comes to mind, but I don't believe that's it. But if you watch Marco Polo, and you know what I'm talking about, man. Okay, that's what was happening back then when certain ancient kingdoms were being taken down. This is what's happening now. So the modern day siege weapons that you've got are these this defense complex, right, as quoted from Putin's mouth, man. All right, so that's the situation that you have happening out there, and people are still on this tip of, oh, let's go on holiday, or let's buy this house, and let's buy this car. All right, the Lord is putting a spirit between these nations to go to war with each other, man. All right, that's the times we're living in right now, man. Okay, and we can go through all kinds of scriptures, all right, to prove this point, but in the interest of time, you can see it right here in clear black and white color in HD, man. Okay, you can see it. It's clear, man. Plain as daylight. The scriptures are being fulfilled. Does not the scripture say in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, that he's going to summon all of them spirits, and he's going to put them right where he's in that valley of decision, man. Right, exactly what it's saying within the scriptures, how it was going to play out within the Middle East, is exactly how it's playing out. Okay, let's read this, because I like this article because we use this image. All right, okay, so we can sue Sputnik for using one of our campsites, man. All right, for you brothers that you get the joke, all right. It says ex NATO general, stronger Baltic presence necessary to avoid nuclear war. So wait, hold on a minute. You're saying to avoid the nuclear war that you're propagating, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm pretty sure it is. All right, to avoid that, you want to increase the military presence on the doorsteps of the people that are saying are aggressors. Going to show that this man is the devil, man. And just like how it says in the scriptures, though his words were smoother than butter, right? Swords were drawn. What's the modern day sword? Nuclear ICBM missile, man. Right? It says, as Moscow repeatedly urges for calm in Eastern Europe, the US and NATO deploy new forces to Russia's borders, right? And now a senior retired general with the alliance has called for an even larger Western presence, right, in the Baltics, or risking nuclear war. Okay, so now what people are being fooled to believe in is that, yo, Russia's doing, let's increase our military presence, but it's really you devils, man. Of which the Russians are devils too. They're all Edomites, but that's just in the fulfillment of scriptures where it says, if Satan's house be divided against himself, how shall he stand? Okay, so like I said, it was going to be a quick video just to update you to what's happening out there within Eastern Europe and the Middle East, okay, and how that's going to lead to the World War III that the men of the Lord are looking forward to. Okay, the men of the Lord are looking forward to the new, the so-called destruction of this kingdom, because with that, hey man, right, all the dreams that are spoken about within the scriptures, all of the dreams that we have about the kingdom, all right, about having the stuff that we want and we need, all right, talking about communities, the Most High is going to set up a common unity, which the common unity amidst all the jakes is the scriptures. You're talking about some community, the common unity, right, which is the essence of the word community, all right. The common unity, all right, between the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans is that we're Israelites, and being an Israelite dictates that you're gonna get into the scriptures, man, right? So that community is gonna be set up within when the Lord comes back, man, because He's gonna take His elect, and those elect is gonna bring back the ones that get destroyed on this side, man. And if the 2/3 be destroyed, how much more worse is it gonna be for you heathens, man? All right. So with that, I'm gonna say, Kal Halal Yahaba Shim Yahshai, double honor to the apostles of GMS. I want you both to be pushing the truth in sincerity. Shalom.